The president used to put out a lot of tweets on what is now known as X, previously Twitter, and one of them in particular was in regards to tariffs back in the day, where he said, "I am tariff man. When people or countries come in to raid the wealth of our great nation, I want them to pay for the privilege of doing so. It will always be the best way to max out our economic power." Right now, taking in $ billions in tariffs, make America rich again. Well, in a time where there are tariffs going wild, and we have had tariffs as a part of the conversation here, guys, in the USA, in a big way for the crypto market. It has been one of the big things that we've been watching for some of the price volatilities on Bitcoin, where it went to 112, back down to 100K, kind of on the news about tariffs and some of the other big news happening in the globe. Tariffs are a big part of this conversation. Well, now people are latching on to this tweet from 2018 from the president, and there is something new that has been trending. It is this tariff man meme. Okay, so there's a meme coin out there, and this is a sponsored video by the Tariff Man team. Thank you for bringing this information to our attention. Our sponsor in this video is Tariff Man, and they launched this meme coin to kind of embrace this really large news story and this meme kind of as we see it. And guys, it's something that has been out there. I mean, looking at a variety of publication, here's a bunch of screenshots referring to the president as Tariff Man. Looking at, is the president's trade strategy unlimited? Yes, but Tariff Man has options. Here's other articles from Barron's. Asian leaders see right through the Tariff Man Act, right? Talking about the president again, Pompeo says he calls himself Tariff Man. This is the language coming right from the president's tweet back in 2018. And yes, there's now a meme coin about it. And so is this a meme coin that's going to pop off at some point? Well, let's discuss it a little bit, guys, because this is a meme coin that's on Solana. It's a very low market cap play. And if you're looking for a coin where something might pop around some good news or maybe even bad news around tariffs, maybe this is one of those plays. You should do your own research as always, guys, but let's dive into what's going on right now. Bitcoin's been very high lately. It looks like it wants to resume kind of this bullish trend. We're still waiting on Bitcoin dominance to continue exploding to the upside before hitting a final resistance and then altcoin season to come. So as we're preparing for altcoin season, this Tariff Man coin is kind of funny. Obviously, it's one of the biggest things that's been brought to the table by this pro-crypto president is tariffs, and he is the pro-crypto president. So I do think that on the surface of it, they tend to go hand in hand. Well, the Tariff Man team is making moves to try to bring more for the Tariff Man token holders. Recently, they got the impersonator of the president to actually come out, and this guy's got over 16 million views on TikTok, so they're trying to get kind of more conversation going on about this president, and you can see this Tariff Man meme, so they're coming out with content about it. But looking into some of the detail kind of behind like the history of this coin. So they kind of lay it out in 2018, the superhero's born. The president could, at the time, call himself Tariff Man, and $billions is what he actually had in the tweet, and that is the ticker for this coin now. And they even go through in this thread showing the original tweet from December 4th, 2018. Okay. So that was not that long ago. The Washington Post actually even put out an article with, there you go, there's the president with a mask and the tie, the big red tie and a cape, Tariff Man. And then they even go through talking about some of the historic conversations the president has had on tariffs. He's been talking about tariffs since the 1970s. So no doubt that the president certainly embraces these tariffs. But now there's a way to celebrate it on this meme coin on Solana, which is still the hottest meme coin market out there. They have the official contract address, in this tweet thread. Make sure you go, if you're looking at this, to the official X account for this meme, Tariff Man meme _. Please do your research and do your due diligence. Make sure you're going to the right channels. How big is this narrative? Well, Chinese state media is mocking this right now as we're kind of seeing this. This video was posted 9 days ago. Some of these videos that actually have this Tariff Man on it on Twitter, really on TikTok and on YouTube are getting, some of them are getting millions of views. And so Chinese state media is very into this tariff man idea, kind of making a joke out of it, as obviously there's some tensions between the US and China on these tariffs. Well, what is the token actually going? What's happening like behind the scenes with this token? Well, there is a reserve. Okay, so there's a reserve to get rewards to the loyal holders for the Tariff Man token. Talking about, well, the president is out there slapping tariffs on countries and bringing in billions for hardworking Americans. Tariff Man is laser focused on the real mission, delivering billions to the degens by placing tariffs on projects. So there's a little bit of a tariff on this project, a 0.5% tariff on the project. And what they've got going on is a tariff reserve. And so the goal is they're kicking off the reserve with $5,000 from their treasury, which will get repaid once the treasury starts growing and stacking gains. So this is the wallet address for the treasury if you want to look into the wallet treasury yourself. But the reserve needs to hit $100,000 in the treasury, in the reserve for profit threshold before any rewards start flowing to holders. But what their goal is to have these very simple rules. The rules are the longer you hold, the higher you score. The higher you score, the bigger your slice of the pie. They say loyalty pays big. So they're trying to reward their token holders. Here's a look at the Tariff Man chart. It has a lot of volatility. At one point, this thing got up to it's a very low cap play, very low cap, always more risk with the low cap plays, especially some of these lower ones. But with that, does potentially come reward if all of a sudden there's a news event that does pop these off. And it looks like there's been a couple key events that has popped this off surrounding tariffs. Tariffs back in April when we had Liberation Day happening. Then in June, there was more news about tariffs again. And if we continue to get news about tariffs, you can see this chart potentially pop there. And, they're trying to keep people in the coin by creating this loyalty reserve as well, like we talked about. So it got to almost $1 million market cap, got to like 850K market cap, very low right now at $144,000, $51,000 in liquidity. So low liquidity, you will move the chart with a sizable position. So something to be aware of. And if you're interested in trading around tariffs and looking for another meme to dabble with, well, here's the information on Tariff Man for you guys. Could this be a 10x? Going to get to 1.5 million? 1.5 million is not really a lot for a meme coin. Something like that's very achievable. I'm not going to start talking about billion-dollar market caps on something like this, though. The ticker for this is $billions. However, I think it's pretty funny. There's certainly a lot of media attention on it in China. You've seen some of the stories from like the Washington Post, and here you go. There's like a whole comic book series. They've got an impersonator from the team they hired to kind of meme this up a little bit more. What do you guys think? Is this a meme that you're interested in? Is this something that you do think is going to have some pumps during some tariff news? That kind of makes sense to me. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to give financial advice. This is a sponsored video brought to you by Tariff Man. Thank you to the Tariff Man team for bringing this information to our attention. Let me know. Are you guys interested in this coin? Leave a thought in the comments down below. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel DCA Hodl. Of course, I'll keep the content coming for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time, guys. 2 videos here if you want to check them out. I'll see you in the next one, folks. Peace.